That's right. It is Get to Know Your District here on Morning Kick Around, the segment of the show where we try to get to learn all the districts, all the cities, all the clubs across the United States. And this edition, we are going to learn about Portland, Maine, and Portland, Maine soccer through the eyes of filmmaker Kurt Graser. 5 episodes of Up the Hearts is on YouTube now, a fantastic American soccer documentary. Welcome to Morning Kick Around, sir.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate you coming on, Kurt. It's been fun watching the documentary and seeing the story. You know, we've talked a lot about things like Welcome to Wrexham and those kind of things. And one thing I struggle with a lot is like, I know what happened in the season, and now I'm going back in time, and maybe there's something interesting that I missed, but it's kind of hard for me to reconcile. I have none of that with Up the Hearts. I mean, even if I do know, some things about the club, there is so much here to learn. Just watched episode 5. In fact, finished it this morning, and we open up with a song written about the club by a local band, local musician. I mean, first of all, tell us about the origin of doing this. I mean, how did this come together?
Yeah, for sure. So I heard about this team kind of forming about 5 years ago. Gabe Hoffman Johnson is the founder, and Portland is a small city, so kind of everybody knows each other. So I was like, hey, it'd be really cool do you mind if we start documenting this process? And he was like, yeah, sure. We don't know what's going to happen. So we started filming interviews about 3-4 years ago, not knowing what was going to happen. We didn't know if it was going to be a documentary series. We just had no idea. We didn't know if even the team was going to form. So we started filming these things, and it started picking up speed in the last 2 years. And then we were like, oh, wow, we have something here, So we started filming some more. And it was clear that it wasn't a documentary as in like a 90-minute, 2-hour type of thing. This was clear that it was going to be a series. And that's kind of how it all got started. It's just really Gabe saying sure and giving us access, and we start going for it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear. I was going to ask you, how did the origins of happen this? Because I've watched the first 3 episodes, and it was clear you were boots on the ground early here. There was no catching up with the story. You're right there along with it. So it makes sense that you were here 3 to 5 years ahead of release. So I guess I can't imagine, what was that feeling like to actually know that this was happening, and all that work and filming that you had already done was actually going to, turn into a production?
Yeah, for sure. Well, let me step back for a second. I've been in sports for a long time, so I never really, at a professional level, I've worked at ESPN. I've worked on the athlete rep side for years, but I never was really part of I never seen like a team just kind of form out of nothing. Yeah.
Very American thing.
I was just like, well, this is something interesting. We should capture it. And I really want to, if we didn't just jump in and capture it right away, I felt like nobody was, and we had to tell this story. So we just jumped in right away. And knowing that, I just always had a feeling something was going to come of it. Like, even if it was maybe like an internet small thing, or, maybe a short documentary or something like that. We were going to put something together, for better or for worse. If the team was going to form, we're going to, we're doing what we do. If it didn't form, we'd probably put something together as well. So where it is now, I'm super excited. It's great. Now we have 5 episodes. We're probably going to have about 8 or 9 by the end of the season. We're on television. We're on NESN, which is where the Red Sox play. So it's a regional New England sports network. So, where it is now, I'm super excited. This is tremendous. And, I don't know where this is going to go either. Are they going to make the playoffs? Or they're not? So, that's kind of where we're at right now.
That's part of it. I mean, obviously you've got, and that's the thing, like somebody who's never been to Portland. I did spend a little time in Boston. That's about as close as I got. But I do know Tom Caron, right? I do know some of the elements of what sports culture is in New England. And for that to be about soccer, right? So I'm a romantic baseball fan going back a long time. Ted Williams is my favorite player. Never saw the guy play, obviously, but to be able to tie that to soccer has been such a fun watch. I mean, is that something that you were sort of conscious of? I mean, this roll season episode has features episode 3 features one of the most successful high school coaches in the area. So how much of soccer's sort of bubbling popularity were you aware of, or were you thinking about as you made the show, made the series?
Well, listen, the World Cup's coming in next year, so we knew that there's the popular is kind of building already here in Maine specifically. People are soccer crazy here. There are supporters group all over Portland, all over Maine. There's fantastic high school teams. There's great like youth premier teams. So the want for this team is here. The soccer interest is here. So I wasn't too worried about people being interested in the show locally here. What I really want to do here was tell this story so people can know outside of Maine what we're doing here, what the team is doing, and then as you see through the other episodes, what the community is doing too in Lewiston, youth soccer here in Portland. Those are stories that I find equally as fascinating as just the team, and I want to pair those together during all the episodes.
Yeah.
One of the things that people really look for and when they gravitate to things is, relatability in the subjects that are there. And I think that this might really fall into American soccer people across the country that are trying to form their own teams or have a very small USL team. They want it to be more. I have very niche interests. I work and volunteer my time for a local USL 2 team. So I don't know if I've ever, as a very niche thing, I don't think I've ever related as wholeheartedly to as the local soccer organizer you had on there that was hosting the pickup games, the after hours pickup games and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever seen like myself as closely represented on the soccer screen. So the documentary definitely seems like it's very relatable for North American soccer. And maybe, like you said, to your point, helping other people get to know Portland, Maine. So the biggest extended get to know your district segment there up the hearts there, really showing all the different things. So really great mix for those who haven't seen it, really great mix of footage of the area. There's lots of establishing shots. So we kind of know what the city looks like. And you also talk about the neighboring Lewiston and kind of that's like a rural area. And you have all the different key parts. Like you have the brewery guy, you have the soccer bar, you have the main owner and leader and the backstories. It's really fascinating. Like, have you been able to get the subjects of choice almost all the time? Is there anyone that's been missing from the storytelling process? You seem pretty thoroughly on it.
Robert, that's a great question. I'd like it's great. I think locally, outside the team, I think everybody who wants to be involved has been involved, which is great. Even Tom Karen, who you mentioned, is a minority owner. He is so supportive and involved in the show, which is tremendous. What I like to specifically do is not only tell those stories, which we're getting, but I want to do more player profiles too throughout the year too, and kind of get that. In our last episode, we did a profile on Mikey Lopez, which was great. Kind of one of the more senior members of the team. We talked to Khalid Hersey, who is a local Lewiston resident who made the team as well. So I think more of those would be awesome. But so I'm kind of balancing a few things here too. Like I'm not employed by the Hearts of Pine.
Right.
This is my company. We put this whole documentary together. So they're giving us access to all this, which has been tremendous. They have been a fantastic partner. But, working with players and profiles, we got to go through Coach Bobby Murphy. If he's like, no, these guys got to practice and really keep their head down. I don't want them involved. That I get it. So we're balancing that as we put this show together.
Yeah, it's I imagine. I mean, and again, as you've outlined, you guys started so long ago. I imagine there's lots of stuff you didn't use even from we tracked the creation of the name and the badge, and we got a lot of that stuff is incredible. And obviously didn't know it was going to be such a hit either. I mean, outside of Portland, I imagine.
Yeah, we have terabytes of footage that we've shot that we have not used for this for sure. The idea is, and we're putting this series together while the season is happening, which is extremely interesting and difficult at the same time. There's a lot of stuff that has to hit the cutting room floor. I'm hoping after the season is done, when we have 8, 9, 10 episodes, to kind of go back and kind of re-edit them, maybe add some context to things that we didn't have before. Because these other series, like the All or Nothing series or Wrexham, they shoot all season and then they spend a year editing the whole thing. I'm doing this in season, which is a little complicated and difficult at the same time. But it's a challenge for myself and my team, and it's been great so far. So we're hoping the rest of the season is as good as the last 5 episodes that we've done.
Yeah, I think it was in either the first or second episode, the process of developing the look and the badge and the logo. I would just put the comment on the screen, the Heart Bandit story, just like the way that whole formed. That was really, really great storytelling there.
Yeah, that the team, all credit to Gabe Hoffman-Johnson, who's the founder of the team, Burke Cherry, who really helped him kind of develop all that stuff. Burke Cherry is now working with Men in Blazers, and he used to work for Force Soccer, and they are. So they think about these things for years. They didn't just jump right into this. This has been, clearly they've been thinking about this for 3, 4, 5 years, and it shows. And so we were just able to kind of sit back and kind of watch this process happen. And that's what the first and second episode really kind of like tell that story.
Yeah, I'm curious too, like the reach of this. You mentioned Beyond Nesson. Obviously, that's huge in the region. I mean, you go to YouTube, it's obviously available to everybody. I'm curious, like, what kind of reaction you've got, not from Portland. Obviously, we know Portland soccer fans are probably in love with this and want to be part of it, but outside of that, because as American soccer culture, we're very eager to jump on these bandwagons, particularly when they feel authentic, the way that Portland Hearts of Pine does.
Yeah, we get a lot of messages from folks outside of New England saying, "Hey, when's that next episode happening?" When I'm enjoying the series. I live in Minneapolis. I live in Pennsylvania. I live in wherever. I'm really enjoying the series. When's the next one happening? And to be honest, the show, when we first do it, goes to TV. It goes on Nesson. It stays there for about 2 weeks. But to be honest, a lot of people in New England don't have Nesson, actually. So they're waiting for it to come to YouTube as well. So, we do get a lot of messages from around. I've got messages from England. We've got a message from somewhere in Africa as well, in the Caribbean. So there is lots of interest in this, and I'm just trying to get this out there for people to really understand. The team is diverse too. This team is from all over the world: Australia, England, the Caribbean. So, I'm assuming folks that live in those regions are going to be interested in this story as well.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely apparent that it was a diverse area, and the definitely diversity within the team. You said your 5 episodes are available on YouTube, and you're going to go to 8 or 9,
all depending on the playoffs.
yeah, for sure, all depending. And that's the beauty of what you're doing, is you're documenting as it goes along.
Yeah.
But of the episodes that are publicly available now that viewers can look up, right after this morning kick around episode ends, what would you say is the moment, or like the shots where you're like, yes, I guess what stands out so far that like you really hang your hat on, of like it's going well?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I think it was in episode 2 when they released a jersey, and they did an event at a local music venue here called the State Theater, and it was sold out. It was packed with like fans like wanting to see that jersey, and the governor was there and all these type of things. So that's one thing. The other thing is like the one thing that other stands out is episode 4 when they had their first league game away in Naples. I was down there with my team. It was a small team. And there was about 50, 60 people from Maine that came down to watch that first game. And that was tremendous. They made more noise at one point than Naples FC folks, or FC Naples folks. So that was a big moment too. And obviously the home match that you're seeing right now, the first home match, it's tremendous. Like that stadium downtown in Portland it's a high school stadium, but to see 6,000 plus fans there, just like having the best time ever was tremendous.
Yeah, I just wanted to, oops, I'm sorry. I don't remember how to get them back. Kind of curious.
Hey.
My apologies. That's me pushing buttons I shouldn't push. I'll leave that to Jenny next time. I wanted to show the trailer. That was for episode 5, the most recent episode that dropped this week. And yeah, that vibe in the stadium. I mean, that's obviously a soccer fan. So sort of what we live for. We live for the atmosphere. There's we kind of already know how that went on some level. If you went back and looked at it, maybe if you didn't pay attention to the home opener, you weren't really in tune with it. But I imagine there was a lot of trepidation on the part of the club. Like, what is this going to look like in the stadium? Will we get the atmosphere that we think we're going to get? I mean, just because you feel pretty confident doesn't mean you know what's going to happen, Kurt.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very close with the front office staff now. Kevin Scholl, who's the president of the team, Gabe, and then those folks that work there, I see them on a weekly basis, and they are tremendous. it's a large staff for a USL One team, from what I'm understanding from talking to other USL One teams, and they all work super hard to make this all happen. So that first game, they've been thinking about it for 2 years, planning, figuring out what's going to happen, where's the food going to go, where's the kid zone, sponsor, yada yada yada, what's going to happen during it. So and I know they were talking for a long time. So in the latest episode, we try to do our best to kind of follow that kind of arc. Really, they're going there for the first time, figuring out where everything is going to go, talking to the folks that are like literally like screwing in the seats and kind of getting ready. They had to put down, $3 million in new turf. So these guys have been working extremely hard to make that high school football stadium a proper soccer stadium for this team. And to be honest, I had my reservations for sure. But I feel that they really pulled it off in every game since. And I know we've only seen through episode 5 with the first game, but I've been to every game since then. And it's just a tremendous atmosphere every time they have a game.
Yeah, that passion and that excitement, that atmosphere definitely comes through on screen with what you've put together. And just, I think someone in the comments said something about this, put this in the zeitgeist for, American soccer and, how to build a club and how to launch a club. Yeah. It's a fantastic blueprint and a great success story. And just the quality of the production really stands out. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing the insights in Up the Hearts. Available now, 5 episodes and more to come.
Absolutely. And you guys got to get up here.
Man,
you guys have to watch it. You got to get up to your game. Do your show up here. I guarantee. I got a studio. We can host it here. Let's just do this. You guys would have a great time.
A show from Portland. What an idea! We may have to set a precedent for that. I one more question, Kurt, because I forgot I wanted to ask this. Sure. You're documenting this. That means you're not supposed to, interject yourself into the story and those kind of things. I mean, we're not doing hard and fast journalistic rules, I imagine, but this is watching it happen and documenting what's going on. So you're not writing a story, but what would you prefer for your final episode? What would be the right kind of vibe? I mean, obviously winning a championship is everybody's dream, but that may be a little out of reach for a first-year club. So what kind of things do you think about for what the series will look like when you end it?
Oh, that's such a great question. Things have been kind of changing too. I just got a message yesterday that they have 3 home games within a week and a half to end the season. And those 3 games might determine everything, determine if they go to the playoffs, might end the season, to be honest. So I don't know. I think that's such a great question. I don't know. Preferably, I like it to see them win the whole thing. I think that would be tremendous for me personally.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, what I really want to do is just tell this story, this group, this first season. And then once the season's over, really get a look back. Talk to not only the front office staff, players, Coach Bobby Murphy, but the community as well, and how this really impacted everybody. Because I really feel that this season, this team is impacting this whole community, this whole state. And I really want to try to capture that. And hopefully the last episode and maybe there'll be a season 2. I don't really know. But that's kind of where we're at right now.
We shall see how it all plays out. Kurt Graser from Knack Films, Up the Hearts, available locally on NESN and anywhere in the entire planet on YouTube. Kurt, thank you so much for joining us. Great idea for maybe Morning Kick Around to journey up to the Northeast. I've never been to the East Coast. I'll just put that out there. So there'll be quite an exciting thrill. But
wow.
Get up here, Robert.
Yeah, I definitely need you. And I was going to say that's the most exposure I've ever had to the Mainer accent.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. There's a lot of northern New England accents from Vermont to Maine. So yes, there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir. Get to know your district, Portland, Maine. Put the pin on the map. Thank you so much to Kurt for sharing. Go check out Up the Hearts on YouTube. And as we get ready for our final segment of the day, I got to remind you, if you enjoyed that segment and what we do here on Morning Kick Around, tell your friends, then hit subscribe if you haven't already. You can hit super thanks if you'd like to do a one-time donation, or you could even become an ultra. $3.99 a month is all it costs. Get priority commenting to these live videos. You get priority access to Morning Kick Around Discord server. We got great conversations on the Discord server from local stories, USL, MLS, national teamers, and just some general commentary and some introductions, some almost soccer-holic confessions over in there. Some great threads on the Morning Kick Around Discord server. So thank you to everyone who has become a member already and those considering it. And at the very least, tell your friends about Morning Kick Around.